Inside the admitted lip results the floppy observer.
Wow, what is that?
Oh, no, that's just my favorite line from a screenplay I wrote.
Wow, you're going to be president someday.
Running fascist, kill outfit. It's futuristic, like Carnegie the Magnificent. Rewind your VCR, rewind your cassette. Nintendo pilots, flying up ahead. Captain's log, John Luke, Picard. Boomerang, sea of lies, the weapon covered child. Out on your street tonight. Don't matter how loud you gotta shout it. Out on your street tonight.
But like, I always think about, like, this always cracks me up as like a thought experiment. Whenever I see a morality play, like Dr. Faust or whatever, where it's about like someone making a deal with the devil, and it's like, ooh, they're so tempted to give up their soul, and it's like, well, no, the second you say like, I'm the devil and I will take your soul in exchange for this like thing, you're like, well, I know you're real now and that I have a soul, so like, bye. No, what the fuck are you talking about? You've confirmed the one thing that is keeping me from doing all of the religious stuff. Like the thing that the doubt that I've had, you have you have erased. So now I don't ever have to do anything you want me to do again.
Point.
Like it's the greatest gift the devil can give anyone is to tell someone that he exists.
I think also though, he could very easily cover up that messaging problem with by just saying, hey, it's me, I exist. Also, God doesn't. Or like, also, it's not what you think it is.
Sure.
Because it just to introduce that doubt, baby.
Yeah, sure.
And then you're good. I think that's a very good point. And I think 10 times out of 10, if Satan came to me and he was like, what up? I'd be like, cool, there's lots of things that I think differently about. Right away. Right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think every play and every movie, everything should have that like kind of 5 to 10 minute conversation about like, okay, wait. So you're real. What else is real?
But so that's the other thing though, is if the devil is like tells you that he's not the devil and offers you this whatever. Yeah. God can't hold that against you. That is false advertising.
Yeah, you can't like spend an eternity in damnation for a blip of ignorance.
Yes, for you being lied to explicitly by the person who is like
the daddy of lies.
The daddy of lies.
Yeah, lie daddy.
As he's known, lie daddy, as he is known in most theologies.
True. Almost all.
I just feel like that's just a dick. That's just a dick move.
You got lied to by lie daddy.
Yeah.
Who hasn't been lied to by lie
like,
daddy?
what am I supposed to do? See through the devil's lies? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just a little guy.
Yeah. Who am I, God?
Who am I, God?
Who am I, you?
Who am I, you?
And he's like, good point.
Judge not, lest me be you.
Welcome to Contextual Deviants. That's the one we're going in on, baby. Welcome to Contextual Deviants. My name is Christian Hagen. Each episode, we watch a movie, as you can probably guess by everything we've been talking about so far. We watch movies, and then we talk about them through a series of randomly generated critical context given to us via our contextual computer. We don't know what we're going to say about this movie in its entirety as of yet. We will be prompted as we go. And if you don't quite follow, well, just listen along and you'll see. Joining me on this episode, as always, are my dearest friends and co-host hosts and the ones walking with me through the journey of life, Misters Matthew Bond.
Hello.
And David Gucci.
Low hell.
Hello and low hell to you.
A very merry hello and low hell to you.
A very merry hello and low hell to you. Folks, I am so excited to be back with you, as I'm sure these gentlemen are. I don't want to speak for them, but I just did. And we are coming to you. We have a first for you this time. We've been around now, I realize, for over 4 years, and we have never done a Japanese animated film or a film in the typically known Japanese animation genre, anime.
If you're wondering what that sound was, it was everyone leaving.
And thank you for the download and goodbye. No, somehow we've done all sorts of, we've done several different kinds of animated movies, claymation movies, CG animated movies. We've never done an anime.
Takes place in Italy, by the way.
Which also, it takes place in Italy.
Classic Japanese film.
Classic Japanese film.
Have you guessed what it is?
It takes place in Italy.
Wait, yeah, actually, fun game. Wait, you've seen the episode
If you hadn't seen the episode title, and you heard this podcast about movies is doing an anime for the first time, which one do you think that they did? The first one that everyone thinks of, the brain goes straight to Studio Ghibli, Hayao Miyazaki. Easy guess. And so, of course, it's Porco Rosso.
Duh.
His most famous and successful, most beloved and well-known, most commonly quoted and referenced
most
film.
Associated with him.
Most associated with him.
Oh, yeah, that Porco Rosso guy.
Oh, the dude who made Porco Rosso.
Yeah,
oh,
pig.
It's like they've got that big stage adaptation coming of Porco Rosso.
God, actually, though.
The theme park.
Not a bad
the
idea.
Porco Rosso theme park.
It could come up.
Oh man, that'd be a fun ride though.
That would be fun. That'd be so fun.
It'd be fun.
It would be like an excuse for him to do more plane shit. You know, he's into that.
He loves plane shit.
He fucking loves planes. Porco Rosso, for those who have not seen it, which even a lot of Miyazaki fans haven't, and I apologize for that, but it is streaming on HBO Max, as are all Studio Ghibli films in America.
Forget
it. You'll have to check locally if you are outside of the U.S. I am afraid I do not know where the Ghibli films are streaming elsewhere. I know in some countries it's on Netflix, which
true,
enviable. But it is a film set in Italy. Or actually, technically, just outside of Italy, and like an island outside of Italy,
an unnamed island
that goes, and then Milan, and it kind of But this is post World War I, pre World War II. It's fascist Italy, and Porco Rosso is a pilot who is a bounty hunter who was a part of the Italian military, but left when they became fascists. Because, as he says, he'd rather be a pig than a fascist, which is,
they're kind of the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing. Wow.
Powerhouse.
Continuing our theme of ripping fascists on this show, which is very exciting.
I think we should probably take it from the other side a few times, though. Just got to reach across the aisle.
Across the aisle. What do the fascists think about this?
Yeah, let's ask.
We always ask the question, why do we want to know what the fascists think about this? What if we asked, what do the fascists think about this?
New York Times.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez. That's every other New York Times editorial. Ba-bang. Also, he's a pig. Also, he's a pig man. He's a pig man who flies planes.
Yeah.
He was cursed to be a pig.
Yeah. By God, I guess.
By God.
Yeah.
They never really
It's
get
pretty
into it.
awesome. No, it's pretty badass. I kind of wish he would tout that more, to be completely fair. But
Exactly. And so he gets into it with some pirates, and then there's an American fighter pilot who challenges him. And there's just a whole bunch of hijinks. It's one of Miyazaki's silliest movies, I'd say.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it's like about warplanes and all of this, and pirates, and
there's plenty of meditative elements.
There's a
that
few,
are kind
but
of
like for the most part, it's like
Ghibli
very
things.
silly in spots.
Yeah, pretty goofy.
There are parts where it is just straight up just a comedy.
Yeah.
In a way that I think a lot of Miyazaki movies are even like his funniest movies are a bit more low key.
True.
This one might be his most straight up silly movie.
Yeah, probably.
I agree.
Good. The voice cast is, it features many American stalwarts. The great Michael Keaton stars as Porco. And I should preface this, if you have not seen this film yet, it sounds like he doesn't care through some parts of the movie, but we watched a behind the scenes thing of it after we watched it the first time, and it turns out he was super into it. He was just kind of doing a Humphrey Bogart thing, and it doesn't quite come across the way that I think he thinks it does because you can't see his face.
Yeah, like by the end, like it's more towards the beginning of the movie. Like by the end of it, like I think his performance gets a little more energized.
Well, especially once you get into the rhythm of it, you start to follow along. But at first, it might seem kind of like, did he not want to be there? But he did.
Yes.
But he did.
And then, of course, Carrie Elwes as the American fighter pilot, and then the person we all think of when the American voice actor we associate the most with Hayao Miyazaki, Brad Garrett. From Everybody Loves Raymond and Hollywood Squares. So. So I think I don't know if there's anything else to say about this film that we won't be saying when the computer tells us to say things about it.
You're probably right.
Anything for you boys?
Let's zoom right in, baby.
Let's just do it.
You wanna do it? Realm?
Plane style.
Realm.
If only he was a cat.
Is this Die Hard?
Is this Die Hard? I don't know if that picked up properly, but is this Die Hard?
Is this Die Hard?
Is this Porco Rosso? Die Hard.
Is it? Lot of bullets.
Honestly,
a lot of bullets.
Honestly, it's
punching.
There's a lot to it.
A lot of bruises and blood too. Like much like Die Hard.
Yep.
Porco Rosso starts looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Ends the movie looking pretty bad.
It's pretty beaten up. Yeah.
It looks pretty bad. Pretty bad. Yeah. Hey, look, terrible. Absolutely terrible. He's the Argyle though.
Okay. We gotta.
Sorry, I jumped ahead of myself.
Well, number one,
How dare you?
you're gonna have to explain that.
He drives her around.
That's the whole thing.
That's
So wait,
the
so wait,
whole
so wait, so
thing.
Theo. So Theo is John
Theo
McClane.
is John McClane. Oh my god, John McPlane, if you will.
God.
Ooh.
Wait.
Wait,
Is the plane John McClane?
Okay, is the plane John McPlane though?
Is the plane John McClane?
John McPlane.
Well, we can call it John McPlane
Yeah,
if
okay.
we decide that the plane
Okay,
is
yeah.
John
First
McClane.
question: Is the plane John Mc?
Is the plane John McClane?
Is the plane John McClane?
No.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Okay, no, but here we go.
Here we go.
It gets shot up pretty bad and has to
Yeah.
get fixed up in order to get through to the end.
Does he get fixed up?
Is the plane Nakatomi Plaza?
Ooh, the plane is kind of Nakatomi-esque.
Shit. It's Nakatomi-esque.
I guess. Okay. All right. Well, here's one thing.
Okay.
So the pirates band together and hire Carrie Elwes
True.
to come in and take him out in this sort of like surreptitious way. So in a sense, it's kind of like the terrorists going into the Nakatomi Plaza building to steal all that money, but that would mean that he's the Nakatomi Plaza building.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, sure. Sounds right.
I will say this that kind of has, it's neither here nor there, but it would make sense for him. What's Carrie Elwes' character's name again?
Curtis.
Curtis. Him being like kind of like an American cowboy, it would make sense for Porco Rosso to at some point say "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker."
Oh yeah.
Totally would. Totally
like in
would.
a very
And he
like
probably
condescending
did
sort of way.
in
Yeah.
one cut of
He-
the movie. And
yes.
just cut it out.
I
Yeah.
believe this. Yeah,
Yeah, I bet he did.
this
Sure.
did come out post Die Hard.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
That
Would've been-
is true.
Would have been a pretty good reference.
That's amazing.
Or it did come out exactly when Die Hard came out because it might be Die Hard. We still don't know.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Fair
Yes.
point.
So,
Fair
so we
point,
don't
fair
actually
point.
know when it came out because it could be Die Hard.
All right. Hang on. Let's step
Hang
back.
on.
Let's step back because we're jumping.
Yep.
jumping
Yep.
ahead.
Yeah.
At its core, Die Hard is a film about a marriage that has fallen apart.
True.
That one man is trying to pull together. That gets interrupted by a terrorist plot that he has to foil.
True.
In order to revive his love with his wife.
Mhm.
It's a fair summary, having not seen the movie.
So what? So
I just like to drop that fact every time we do this content.
So, to what can we ascribe a similar arc in Porco Rosso?
I mean, he is estranged from the girl that he was in love with before he turned pig.
From Gina. Yeah, before he went big pig.
But they weren't
right.
in love before they were
That's
were.
right.
They
That's
were
right. She
together
was
as
married
kids.
to his best
She
friend.
was married to his
Yeah.
best friend.
I think the kind of implication through their entire arc is that there was always some fondness and perhaps love.
Sure.
Yeah, because I don't know. That scene of him as a kid on the plane with her,
yeah,
definitely predates the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it has
the
to.
wedding.
Yeah.
Because the plane is also way older.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
So then perhaps they were not married.
Right.
But it's a, I honestly wouldn't say they have a rocky relationship either. So I think if we're going to find a rocky relationship that he's trying to repair, it has to be with his plane.
Because she's trying to repair. If anything, she's trying to repair the
Yeah.
relationship.
I was just going to
with him.
say.
Yeah. Is she John
Is
McClane?
Gina John
Is
McClane?
Gina John
Is it Gina McClane?
Oh,
Maybe.
She does save the day at the end.
She
gets
saves the
everybody-
day at the end from
Yeah.
the terrorists, like the pirates. So there's this big fight going on.
Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah,
focusing on the fight between the pirates and Porco Rosso, just like the LAPD focusing on the terrorists, not thinking about them as thieves who are there executing a heist and dealing with the hostages, which would be the innocents and which would be Fio and the money.
Fio and the
Fio and the money.
Yeah.
Much like the hostages and the money that's being stolen out of the Nakatomi building in the terrorist plot. And then
Incredible.
she swoops in
She literally does.
at the last minute and saves the day.
Shit, Gina's John McClane.
Yeah.
Gina is a pretty decent John McClane.
It's not
Yeah.
as fun as John McClane, but it's better.
Yeah.
So I accept it.
Yeah. I mean, it.
Oh, then the Argyle is just that boring little guy that says, "No, I can't go faster. It'll kill the plane." That's Argyle.
exactly
That's
is
our
Argyle,
worst
yeah.
character
That would-
in the movie.
That would have to be Argyle at that point. Yeah,
No,
that's
I
true.
can't do anything exciting. It might hurt.
Right. Oh man, because that it's still not perfect, obviously, because she's missing for most of the movie.
Most of the movie, correct.
Yeah.
But she does have that scene where she interacts with Carrie Elwes one-on-one, much like when John McClane faces off against Hans Gruber and does his fake, and Hans Gruber does his southern
Oh my God.
accent.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
shit.
Okay, yeah, there's some vague parallels there. I like that. That's what we got, baby.
Yeah.
I would say that's a good 6 out of 10 Die Hard. We had to scrabble.
Yeah.
We had to
Yeah.
fight. Scramble?
Yeah. Yeah.
We had to scrubble.
Okay, well, hey, so we got guns, we got broken glass.
guns, we got broken glass. We got planes.
Were there there's a helicopter in Die Hard.
Close enough.
Aviation.
Spinning blades.
Aviation.
Yeah,
We've got
aviation.
stuff in the air.
There's stuff up there that maybe shouldn't be up there.
Yeah, we
There's-
got stuff breaking God's will.
Yeah, exactly.
There's news reports that specifically reference the person who is in danger, much like when the news reporter goes to John McClane's family's house. And in this case, it's news reports about how Porco Rosso is in trouble with the pirates.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
The pirates
I mean,
do take hostages right away at the beginning of the movie. They just happen to treat them way better than
Incredibly
the
well.
terrorists in Die Hard. They treat them very nicely, to the point where the pirates are honestly probably the nicest people in the
They
entire
are,
movie.
Yeah. Oh,
They're-
100%.
They are the role models in this movie,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Maybe this movie is a spiritual response to Die Hard. It's listen, my problem with Die Hard is those terrorists, jerks.
Jerks. We need some nicer terrorists
We need
around
nicer
here.
terrorists. It checks a lot of the boxes.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't quite fit as neatly.
no,
Yeah. Mary Poppins Returns. This is not.
Yeah, exactly.
no, it's not.
Or 8th grade.
No, it's not eighth. It's certainly
Because at
is
least
not
because I
those
know
other Die
this
Hards.
certainly does not feature an emotional Nakatomi building as that one did.
No, it doesn't.
I would say it's also a lot less. Part of the thing that defines Die Hard is that it's in a very centralized interior space.
Yeah.
This is literally as much
not
not
just-
centralized interior space as it can be because it's
Yeah.
flying through the
Open
air.
air.
Hardly any scenes inside, even.
Yeah.
Yeah, very few. Yeah.
The amount of scenes inside is probably less than half.
The closest
Which I feel.
you could say really to an area that's as narrow as or tightly confined as that would be in his Island Cove hideout.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
even then is has an opening over the top and stuff.
So huge.
So it's
Yeah.
huge.
Which, although technically at the end of Die Hard, spoilers, Nakatomi Plaza, the top of it does get blown off. So there is an opening at the top of it in that.
True. True.
I think there's a chance. Hear me out. There's a chance that this movie that we just watched, that may or may not be Die Hard, isn't Die Hard, but it is an allegory for Die Hard.
I like this.
Like how people are like, well, who's the Christ figure in this? Who's the McClane figure?
Isn't that truly
it's
what
not-
we do every single time we do this
Yeah.
podcast?
Yeah,
in this
but it's
context,
not like
though?
a one-to-one. Allegories are never one-to-ones. They're
That's
always
true.
evoking the themes, but they're not a copy of it. And that's what all
It's like
the
a Die Hard
themes are evoked.
pastiche.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Die Hard Light.
Die Hard light, die soft, or die medium.
It's like a Die Hard remix, basically.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Or it
like
could be similar to Die Hard
Unplugged.
2, which is set at an airport.
That's true.
Oh, did we accidentally watch Die Hard 2?
I don't remember that one well enough to keep making references
Neither
to
do
it.
I.
Did we
I've
watch
never seen
Die Hard?
We could have watched
any
Die
Die Hard?
We could have.
Yeah, I think it's more like Die Hard than it isn't like Die Hard. I would say that for sure.
And that's usually what we're going for with this context, right?
Like overall.
Yeah, we can have that for free.
This is vague similarities. The context, like that's yeah.
Yep, that's true. That's true. It's harder to nail down in a plot sense, which I think is also indicative of part of the reason we do this context is just because I think Die Hard is such a tightly contained plot.
So tight.
Like I just mean like it's very straightforward. There literally are like he goes up levels and then back down levels, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
careful! You just made it even more obvious that this was Die Hard. Plane go up, then plane go down. Plane doesn't start up, then go down, then
That's
go
true.
back up.
That's true.
It started on down, and then it went up, and then went down again.
That's true. That's true. Although technically, when we see him in the beginning of the movie, he is in a plane, which. So is John McClane at the beginning of Die Hard because he flies into the LA
he's on the
airport.
beach.
he's on the ground, and then he gets in the plane, and then it goes
right.
up.
You are
Just
right.
like he gets into the building, and then he goes up.
And he
the same.
takes his shoes off and he
Pig
rubs his
McPlane.
feet on the ground on the carpet in her office.
Just
and
like
relaxes
Porco
him.
Rosso takes his hat off and rubs his face on the microphone and says, "Yeah, I'll be right there to save those hostages." It's just like it.
Just
Just
like
like it.
that.
Yeah.
Just like it.
So this is Die Hard.
I guess we could say
It's
this is a
pretty
Die Hard.
much Die Hard.
Yeah.
I think it's safest to say it's a Die Hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's safe to say it's Die Hard. It's definitely a.
It's a Die Hard Italiano because it's in Italy.
It does remind me of one of my favorite lines from the movie, which was the good guys always die
Hard.
Cheers.
Cheers. The good guys always die. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's speaking, of course, about her very recently deceased husband.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of that line.
That is true.
very insensitive.
Jesus.
This movie is Die Cheers.
Marxist theory.
There we go. Marxist theory.
There we go.
So he flies a red plane.
You're not wrong. Next context.
Yeah, nailed it. Got those commies.
one for each.
That pig flies a plane. Oh, God.
Marxist theory. So Marxist theory often focuses around, of course, issues of class, issues of hierarchy, issues of
The distribution
money,
of
distribution
capital.
of goods and capital,
Yeah, and the non-existence of such things.
and of collectivism versus individualism. This movie has a surprising amount of that stuff for a tight, very silly movie about a pig who flies an airplane.
I think Porco Rosso is an interesting character to look at through a Marxist lens because he's the sort of character that, and this is kind of a trope, where he says, "I only look out for myself" over and over, but it is so clear that he does not only look out for himself, and that there are stories about him saving enemies from dying, and clearly the climax of the movie is him doing something to, help someone, although also settle his score for his honor, kind of, too.
Yes,
Like,
but even
it's two things.
But also he denies that that's why he's doing it. He claims that he only does it for the money.
For the money.
But then,
he's like, he presents a calloused exterior because he's afraid of his emotions.
which is it's an old trope in film
Classic.
and literature. The sort of like the rugged individualist who has a heart of gold but won't let anyone see it.
Yeah.
What libertarians wish they were.
So if it's possible that if you look at his character through that lens, then he's doing the correct thing by rejecting an overreaching state, by saying like, no, I'm not going to be a part of the Italian Air Force. I'm going to go do my own thing, and becomes wanted. But he drops the ball of like joining his class. Like he's sort of like this, like he rejects that because he's exceptional. So he's like a weird like oligarch of his own world.
Yeah.
Where he just like, so he's like, he gets halfway there, but he isn't the role model.
Right.
The pirates are the role model.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely the more like communist, like
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like they work together in collective groups, and they clearly share a lot of
bounty.
their bounty and such.
Yeah.
But and even their hierarchies seem kind of hard to nail
Blurred.
down.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of interesting because, like, from a collective versus individual perspective, like you said, he's rejecting an overreaching state. It's kind of hard to say why, though. He never specifically says why he doesn't want to be a fascist.
He doesn't want to be.
Listen,
Yeah. Hey,
don't get
you
me
don't
wrong.
have to.
You don't have to. You don't have to explain yourself on that front. But like,
There are so many things you can say where, hey, can you explain what you mean? Is like a legitimate follow-up question.
Yeah.
Not that one.
no, that one you're cool.
Like,
that one's fine.
Sweet.
I
That
mean,
one's fine.
he doesn't want to be a fascist, yet he still like brings in criminals to the law. Like
He does.
That's true. He's
does-
a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
So he's working. He's benefiting the state
He's
directly.
more. He's like a marshal, like a federal marshal.
Kinda, yeah.
yeah,
Not really, because a bounty hunter is very different. But like,
Right.
but
It's like a mercenary,
It's
yeah.
a similar thing.
Mhm.
Like instead of being a pirate, he chooses to work for the interests of the state.
Yeah.
Without working directly for the state.
Right.
But he gets the state's money, baby.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's clear that when they say at that one point that the royalists and the fascists are both hiring pirates and not focusing on bounty hunters, he's basically out of work. So that implies that up until that point, the royalists and the fascists have been
Could
using
pay
him
him?
to take out the pirates and paying him.
Probably just the royalists. Like,
Well, maybe. We don't know for
I
sure.
guess, yeah, he might just be saying, I'd rather be a pig than a fascist.
Like he just doesn't want to be part of their
Yeah,
military,
yeah,
but he will
yeah.
still do odd jobs for them for money, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, totally. I mean, the more we break this down, which I didn't think about a lot watching the movie, the more I think that there's an argument to be made that Porco Rosso is like, you're supposed to come out of this movie thinking that he sucks.
I mean, there's a lot of evidence for him sucking in this movie.
That's the
yeah.
thing. Like,
Like he's a character that has a lot of fun moments, and there's a lot of romance around him, but he's also really fucking misogynistic.
yeah. I think there's kind of it seems to be there's a reason why the women get kind of the last word of this movie,
Yep.
Yeah.
like the two women in his life. Yeah,
And so if we look at it like, all right, Marxist lens, here he comes, then Porco Rosso is a good example of somebody that perhaps you can ally with, as the pirates may try to do, for their cause, but like he's ultimately going to not share your end goal. Like he's out for him and money. He wants to make money, and that is ultimately not a cool thing. It's
Yeah.
actually not what makes you a hero. If we take the angle that Porco Rosso is not a hero in the movie Porco Rosso.
Right. He's basically
Which I
doing
kind of am ready to.
He's coming
Yeah.
he's coming from like an anarcho-capitalist lens of like, I do things for money. That's my morality.
Yep.
Never and constantly putting himself down in that way of like, I'm a pig. I know that I'm like not a hero, that kind of thing. But also like not changing his behavior at all.
He's kind of got some like Jordan Peterson vibes in that way.
Oh my god.
He's just what's the word for that? It's like psychobiology or like whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
What am I looking for? The theory that like, we're just animals, baby. We just got to do the base shit.
Yes.
Socio. Oh my God! It's that idea.
Sociopaleontology, maybe?
I don't think
no.
so, but it's something in the vein of like, since we're actually animals, men are just gonna be pigs, and that's just how
the kind of people who justify literally everything about human behavior down to like what we did when we were monkeys.
Yes, precisely.
And it's
Right.
like, well, there's also been thousands of years since then, and like I'm pretty sure we don't scroll through Twitter because of what we did in the jungle. Like there are definitely things about human psychology that do relate to that, but not literally
but not
everything.
Yeah, totally.
It's like the kind of people who jump on a paleo diet because they're like, did you ever see a skinny caveman? It's like, did you ever see a caveman? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Or one that lived past 25.
What are you even fucking talking about? It's the dumbest thing
You
I've
ever
ever
see a
heard.
caveman in a hospital? Didn't think so. Next question, motherfucker. I'm David Peterson. Hit me. Next one.
Yeah.
No, so I think I'm gonna say it. Porco Rosso, not the hero of this movie.
No.
Especially through a Marxist lens. Definitely not the hero of this movie. The hero of this movie, Captain Pirate Guy. Voiced very beautifully by Brad Garrett.
I would say that's probably
Absolutely.
true. Or maybe
recognizes
Gina.
also, well, Gina perhaps, but I think Gina's a little ruling class for me. She has like her own fucking hotel island, like
where she sings.
Yeah, I don't
you
know if she's quite the hero. I think the pirates in general, but specifically Bradley Garrett, and I think he is a great example because he's the only character in this movie, which was much belabored by us while watching this movie, that recognizes that women actually are just people that are just like part of society.
Half of the human
Half
population.
of the human population is female. What are you doing? Why is everyone so freaked out by the fact that this person can be a mechanic?
Is he the only one besides her grandfather that tells Theo that she's a great engineer?
I mean, I think Porco Rosso kind of
does.
he
Does
says
he?
she's a genius.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
I think
okay.
yeah.
All right, I
like
missed
people
that.
recognize it, but he's just kind of like, listen, you're a person, and all the people in the world are kind of on the same level, and we should all be united by that sort of like. Yeah,
But I think it does also speak to the fact that like the other two people are her literal grandfather and someone who she had to spend a significant amount of time and effort convincing that she's like a worthwhile individual.
And he was a
then
very
someone she
distant
met-
observer.
Someone she met a day ago who's like, wow, you did that? You're awesome.
yeah, like a person that built a thing, like they 100% that family and Theo specifically owns that means of production. Like no one made that, she made that, and he's like, respect, great. We're in this together. Like I wonder who makes the pirates ships, because I bet it's them. Like
Them or someone like them. I mean, it's very
yeah.
much like a working class vibe that they give off.
Yeah.
They talk about being in debt.
right.
And
yes, they are a part. They're definitely class conscious because they are in debt. And that therefore means someone's holding that over them. And in order to have debt, you have to have some kind of capital.
And they're being used as pawns by the ruling classes of both the royalists and the fascists to sort of engage in. I'm not even entirely sure what they're doing for the government, but they're doing something.
Yeah. And it's clear that Piccolo and his workshop is also like, not a part of the government, because he like anticipated needing to lie to the government about why Porco Rosso was there, et cetera, et cetera. Like they are not richos.
Well, and interestingly, for a time when the Italian Air Force is in operation and there's like a lot of, they just came out of World War I, they're leading up to World War II, and the fascists are in charge. He says that they were on the verge of bankruptcy, which is so weird. Like they build airplanes supposedly better than almost anyone, and yet they almost went bankrupt.
Yeah, I want to know their story.
Yeah, I'm very
What's their
curious
deal?
about what their deal is.
He's a weirdo, and their family is huge.
They, yes, and all the men went off to do work?
All the men went to go find work, but it wasn't there, or like it was not clear.
And see, like
Is
I
it
thought for
war?
sure it was going to be that they were being drafted into the
'Cause, like,
military,
that's
which
the classic
would make
reason
perfect
why
sense.
like women fill men jobs, because men at war. Like,
Yeah.
that's what happened.
But they were like, maybe they were like, we can't do that in the kids' movie.
Yeah, like, we can't say war in this movie where people are shooting each other.
Right.
Can't do
No one really dies in this movie.
That's weird.
Well,
I don't know.
his best friend does in a bunch of.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
see planes go down in flames in his.
But you do
his
then see
flashback.
them fly again.
Yeah.
in heaven
To their
To heaven.
in plane heaven. That's
plane
a good
heaven.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if this movie necessarily has a pure Marxist message to it.
No,
Like,
no.
or an undercurrent that you can see, like, oh, that's where he has like clash consciousness.
No,
You
but I
know?
think you can definitely, I think being able to observe it through a Marxist lens, you can see the areas where they bring in issues of like capitalist exploitation, rugged individualism, the sort of myths of the pull yourself up by your own bootstraps thing.
Yeah.
The misogyny and the patriarchy, and that effect on class and gender relations.
and just like debt specifically
Yeah.
is a plot point multiple times. Like I think that's unignorable.
Ooh. Anything else? Great.
Flies a red plane.
Hey, that's right. He flies a red plane. One for each ghost. Let's do another context.
Make it a musical.
Make it a musical.
Get a music.
Porco Rosso.
Oh, no.
Make it a musical. Reminder: we don't have to make up songs.
You don't have to.
We don't have to.
You can.
We just have to come up with what a musical of Porco Rosso would be. I like to imagine them trying to do like a big Broadway musical out of Porco Rosso because, as I alluded to earlier, they do have a stage adaptation of Spirited Away.
True.
That will be
fucking cool,
in
too.
theaters this summer, which I'm very excited.
I think
to see.
streaming on Hulu.
Streaming on Hulu.
Wow, that's like a theater.
That's exciting. Yeah, a theater for the home. So I'm curious to see what that turns out to be. I doubt it's a musical, but you never know.
Hey, it could be.
But there are lots of musicals about war and this time period specifically. In Europe, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it's
But
not
none of those have a pig pilot.
that I know of. I don't know that
No
many
pig
musicals.
pilots. Yeah, I guess we could Google it right now. Any musicals have pig pilots?
Any musicals with pig pilots?
Hey, pig pilots.
Hey
musicals,
Google,
go.
what are your pig pilots?
What are your pig pilots?
What are your pig
Hey,
pilots?
what are
Google?
your pig pilots?
Hey Google, what are your pig pilot musicals at? I'm just looking over lines that I wrote down from the movie because there were a few that really stuck out to me. There would have to be a very fun song at the beginning for the pirates that gets interrupted by a song by the little girls that they're trying to take
Absolutely.
hostage.
Yes.
Who
Yep.
basically take over the song, and it becomes sort of like an Annie situation, and they're trying to be all tough and manly, but they're just like constantly like trying to keep these kids safe and keep
I
them together.
love that, especially because I think it could even be a back and forth within the song, like verse to verse to verse to verse. Changes styles, changes lighting, and it's a chorus of pirates versus a chorus of little girls, and that is so fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that scene was very dynamic, and there was lots going on and many voices at once. Like, oh man, that would be so good.
I wrote down one of the girls screamed, "It smells like you never bathe," and the pirate's response is, "Wow, you're sharp.
Oh, you're sharp.
Wow, you're sharp."
Yeah, well, that was preceded by like, oh, are you sky pirates? And it's like, yep, we sure are.
We
Like,
sure
"Oh,
are."
you kidnapping us? Like, yep, you got it.
You
Like,
got it. Wow, you smell like you never bathe.
Oh, you're sharp.
You're sharp.
Not like, hey.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, you nailed it.
That's such a good tone setter.
Yeah.
Because it really takes it takes a story about. You know what? Now that I think about it, putting that at the beginning of the movie is super smart in terms of this is a movie about sky pirates, fascists, playing like dog fighting. There's bullets flying all over the place. There's mercenaries and bounty hunters.
But it's super funny.
But it's super like these
Having a
people
great time.
are just like helping these kids get on their plane so that they can take them hostage very gently.
Yeah. It sets the tone very well. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like, there's peril, but we never really think anyone's going to die. Right.
Yeah. There's no like harsh villains. Like it's just yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The worst villainy is the misogyny.
Yep. Yep.
I truly, yeah, in a more insidious way than Curtis actually trying to kill anyone. Yeah.
Obviously, Gina would have at least one song in the nightclub.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's perfect. There is a song already.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's already there.
It'd be in French, and everyone would be like, "Hey, what'd you say?
Hey, what'd you say?
Hey, what'd you say?
Hey, what'd you say?
What you say?
That's what happens.
What'd you say? That's what it is.
It is what happens when you watch theater and someone sings in a foreign language. Everyone in the audience has the permission to yell, "Hey, what are you saying?"
Hey, what are you saying?
They have to say.
Yeah.
it.
They have to
or unless
legally.
it's in tribal.
Otherwise,
I think she'd also have a song in her little secret garden about waiting for Porco.
yep.
Oh, waiting for
yeah.
Porco is a good name for a song.
An I Want song.
I want to fuck that
It's a
pig.
classic I Want song. I want to fuck that pig.
Yeah.
I actually wonder. I feel like Porco
think they
Rosso
could
wouldn't
fuck?
have any songs.
Oh, I
Until,
thought you were
like-
gonna say you wonder if they could have sex because he's a pig, not a human. I'm wondering too. I think maybe he could have an "I wish that I could have sex with humans" song, like in his plane by himself. What were you gonna say?
Hey, what's a pig dick like?
I think it's a spiral. But it's so. I was gonna say
Is that pigs or ducks or both?
I think it's both. But
Okay.
you should Google it real quick.
Show me all dicks.
All right. Actually, no. I do want to know. Pig penis.
Oh, come on! You didn't have to say it with that facial expression.
The 10 weirdest animal penises on Earth updated.
We discovered another one, everybody.
Pigs do have corkscrew-shaped penises.
Hey, there it is.
Okay, thanks, Cecil.
Shit, I should have done an image search. Anyway, what matters is
You didn't really answer the question, though, of whether Porco and Gina can
Could
have
have
sex
sex?
in his pig form, or whether they even should.
I
I mean, that's a level of flexibility that even I don't want to contemplate. And I contemplate flexibility a lot, is I guess what I mean by that.
well, I think this is where sit and spin really comes into play.
Oh my God.
I would say, what I was going to say is I don't know if Porco Rosso would have a song until...
No, I don't think he would. At
Maybe
all.
until the end. Like,
Maybe.
Oh, I actually.
when he sort of maybe turns back into a human, he like might have a line or two.
Maybe because musicals are often like even more playful versions of their like sort of, I was going to say real life counterparts of their counterparts, or sometimes they exist just on their own, and that's a thing too, although that happens less and less. I think everyone wants him to sing a song the whole time, and he won't.
Yeah.
Because that is a theme. Like, people want him to open up or like hang out more or et cetera, and he won't. And so I think that in the musical version is people being like, sing, Porco.
I'll leave that to you
And
humans.
yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm a pig. I don't mess with that human stuff.
Yeah.
His
Grunt.
Gina's memory of them as kids. He sings.
Oh,
They have a
sing.
song together
He
in
sang
that.
it. That would be
Yeah.
cute. That would
And
be
then,
a cute
but it's
little
like it's younger.
flashback.
It's younger
Yeah,
Porco Rosso,
yeah.
so he's Marco at the time. Marco Rossellini.
Yeah, he's
Marco Porco.
That would be cute. Oh, nice.
I want to play Marco Porco.
Marco Porco. And it's where one
feel
of
like
you's a
that's what
pig
him and
and the
Gina
other
would be
one
doing.
runs
Sorry.
around. Okay, let's see. What are some other, like, what about Curtis's villain song? What would that be like? Would it be a Western? Would it be like country music?
Yeah. Yes. Have you seen Kiss Me Kate?
No.
You're fine. But there's like a general character. I played this character in a high school production.
Then I have seen it because I think I went to
The general
those,
character that I played is like a really weird chauvinist type who's like a military guy, but is also like, I don't know. It's a big sing-songy kind of like, oh, I'm a big deal kind of song, which I feel like Curtis would 100% do. Like very stagey,
He
very
could sing a song about his screenplay.
Yeah.
exactly.
Favorite
It would
line
be like
from the screenplay he wrote.
every line he has to explain where it came from, and it's always from something that he wrote. Yeah, especially if it's always a screenplay. God, that line fucking killed me.
Funniest line in the movie.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Followed closely by later when Porco says something and someone's like, "What is that, Shakespeare?" He's like, "No, it's Porco."
No, it's Porco. That's another. Okay, I gotta go back to it. That's another reason why I think the movie's kind of saying Curtis and Porco are all too similar.
Yep.
They're both shitty.
Yep.
They're both kind of shitty because they both quote themselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is fine. You can have wisdom in your own brain. But anyway.
Yeah, it makes sense. They both end up together
Yeah,
pretty much.
they kind of
at the
do.
end, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe they kiss a little bit.
Maybe they kiss a little bit.
They're like equal and opposite. They're like,
Yeah.
Curtis is constantly putting himself out there. He's way too brash. Everyone knows him. He's like obsessed with fame and whatever.
Yeah.
Porco is just like, he wants to be chill. He doesn't want to talk to anyone. He wants
my
to
God.
pretend that he can do everything by himself and no one should be paying attention to him, and he just cares about the money. But in the end, they're both equally insecure, both equally misogynistic, both equally obsessed with attaining some kind of glory or honor that they will never be able to fully achieve,
Right. Or even really articulate.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and both of them are pretending what they don't want in one way or another.
So it makes sense that eventually Porco pops Curtis's cork with his corkscrew dick.
I was gonna say people that see this musical are going to ship it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, and you
people
can
who
build
see
that
this
up.
movie should ship it.
True.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like
yeah.
especially in a musical, like you can play that up. Like the tension on stage will be palpable, baby. When they're flying around, shooting each other in planes. Oh.
Curtis entering a scene from that like crevice that he's wedged himself into and jumping down.
Incredible.
That'll be a hell of an entrance.
That'd be a good theater thing. Yeah, I think Curtis would have a very fun, pompous song that I would probably think was a banger, and he'd get to strut around on stage and love it. Yeah. Oh, good.
So this is it's feeling very much like a classical kind of musical, like
Yeah.
like
I
a
think so.
musical ass musical.
And
We're not
the
looking like
building of the plane montage is classic songs shit.
Yep. The Hags get a verse.
Oh, the Hags.
Yep.
They sure do about poker.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's like
play
a,
a
it's like
poker
yes, it's like a
game with
working
all this
song,
money
but it's like all these
from this
women, and they're
plane.
talking about being women working on this plane shop or whatever.
yeah.
And then Porco's standing in the back, kind of like, but by the
Being
end of
grumpy about the fact
by
that
the end
women
of it-
are doing a good job.
exactly. By the end of it, he sees the plane when they've finished like putting it together because
Yeah.
they're like as they're singing,
Incredible
putting pieces
and doing
together.
an
He's just
amazing
like,
job.
wow, like that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Be great.
Yeah, actually, that would be really cool. And you could even you could build the plane on stage. Like that would be a cool prop.
Yeah.
Like
That could be a
obviously,
decent act break too.
Yeah, put it together like how the Talking Heads put their band together during the
Yes,
the song.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes, actually. Oh, that's so good. Wow. Wow. No, I think, like you said, classic musical style.
Mm-hmm.
We're not reinventing the wheel here, or the engine, or the propeller.
Or the plane,
No,
or the pig.
we're not reinventing the pig.
We're
here.
not reinventing the pig. here.
Excuse me.
Cough, cough, cough.
We're not reinventing the squeal here.
I would like it if at some point Porco goes la la la.
La la la.
You could.
Ram you.
Oh shit, Babe is a musical though.
Oh shit, Babe is a musical though. Let's do another context.
Prequel or sequel?
Prequel or sequel?
Wait, which one is this?
Prequel or sequel?
We make one.
Yes.
We make one.
We make one.
Prequel.
The
or
difference between this and like spin-offs would be following a different set of
right,
characters.
right,
this
right,
one we'd be following the same
Porco
set of
prequel
characters.
or Porco sequel.
I kind of like the way this one ended.
Yeah.
I think a Porco prequel could be okay though.
Porquel.
But we also kind of cover that territory within this
That's
movie.
what I was gonna say.
Yes and no, because we don't see how he becomes a famous bounty hunter. We don't see the point where he leaves the Italian fascist,
Ooh, which would answer
that's
the
true.
question
force.
of why don't you want to be a fascist?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Which
true.
See him
would
like
be
encountering
compelling.
the rise
Yeah.
of fascism, whether he's a pig or not. Like we don't even necessarily need to see him getting cursed.
Yeah,
I want to though.
because
I
like
kind of want to.
because yeah, like was it implied that he got cursed for surviving? Like
Maybe,
Is the pig a guilt thing?
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
is
I
it
don't
like
understand.
is it all kind of this weird magical realist metaphor? Or is it a literal
Yes.
God cursed you for going back from heaven?
It feels like it has to be a metaphor, right? Like,
Yeah, I
like,
mean, I
like
think
well, but I just
it
mean
could
like
probably
in
be
that
both
in that
things,
sense
yeah.
that like it's sort of like almost like a self.
Yeah,
Like he
made
did it to
himself
himself.
the pig.
Yeah.
Which is what he did when he sold himself off for that money, though. Snort, snort, squeal, squeal, pig, pig. Those are the three sounds they make.
So like the perception of like abandoning one's country or whatever, or like the sort of like oath to his fellow pilot or all that shit, but also like the reason he's doing it is not for selfish reasons. He just sort of like thinks of it that way. That's just how he's framing it in his
Yes,
head.
right.
But really he has moral objections, or he has like maybe the way that the military responded to, or maybe the death of his friend in that
right,
that
yeah.
that big dogfight. He realized like it made him reevaluate what he was doing, reevaluate the mission, and then their response to it maybe was insufficient, and he, lost his taste for it and decided that. But he loves flying,
yeah.
so he just flew off one day, and like maybe I mean I get the sense that so in a lot of military situations, especially around that time period, and I think probably even to this day, loyalty became is like a buzzword that literally everyone talks about all the time. And I can only imagine that someone deserting the military would be talked about as if they were a pig. Like they would treat loyalty, like breaking loyalty to your country or leaving the military, as being like a purely selfish, evil kind of thing to do.
Right.
And so even though he might have other reasons for doing it, internally he's thinking of it as like a selfish thing because that's how it's framed for him.
It's I mean the phrase "I'd rather be a traitor than a fascist."
Yeah.
It like is a thing many humans have said, like 100%. And so from that perspective, would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it makes sense with the fact that he owns that selfishness, and that's what he exudes whenever somebody says, like, what are you doing this for? Like, the money.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm a coward,
Yes.
baby.
Yeah.
That's true. You know what? Actually, if you replace the word pig with traitor, a lot of it makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense because in a sense, he's treating it as if he's a traitor to everyone, as in he's decided that since he was no longer loyal to his country, he would own not being loyal to anyone. That's why he doesn't go back to Gina.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't, he's a womanizer who can't stay with anyone. He's like, he's a bounty hunter. He's only in for the
So
money.
it's like
all
self-imposed.
about himself. Yeah.
He's too programmed to think loyalty is important. So the only way he knows how not to be loyal is to not be loyal to anything.
Exactly.
And he's like, well, shit, if I broke this promise, which makes me bad, but I broke the promise to a fascist, I'm bad now. And I can't redeem myself by being loyal to something better.
You know what I think would do it?
What?
What I think would make it work?
What?
Is if he loves Gina, his best friend's wife, and when his best friend dies and he has to confront the fact that he's still in love with this woman who is now a widow of his best friend, and she, like, clearly there's something there, and he refuses to do anything about it. He feels disloyal to his friend who died.
Right. Pearl Harbor style.
Exactly.
The movie.
Exactly.
My favorite.
Exactly.
It's been well documented that that's my favorite movie. I'm not just making it up right now.
You better please.
Josh Hartnett, baby.
Please put caveats on that. I don't
No
want.
way.
Oh no.
None. Zero. Pearl Harbor is unequivocally my favorite.
Put some caviars on that.
No, I love caviar.
Oh,
it's so tasty.
listeners, you can.
Park your ship in my harbor any day. Pearl style. Love that movie. It's so good.
Pearl style. Yeah. So like he's dealing with the disloyalty both to his military oath, but also to his friendship and to his relationship with this woman.
Shit, man.
And I think that in that way he decides like if he can't hold on to the loyalty of those things successfully, he would be better off not being loyal to anyone.
He should just stop being a person.
But in that way,
And
he's
become
also
a pig
like
instead he doesn't deal with human things.
exactly. He becomes a pig. He's like, I don't want to deal with any of that anymore.
No, I'm a pig now.
Exactly.
I'm a pig now. Sorry.
Yeah. But he's still an amazing pilot. And,
Pretty good.
And he finds money for taking on pirates and other bounties and whatever, and he becomes famous for it somehow.
I think that's fun. I think maybe even there's a little portion of this prequel, because I think at this point it seems pretty clear we've decided prequel is a fun thing to
I just
explore.
think this movie
although we could
ends in
also
such a nice
explore
way.
sequel style stuff, but you're right. There's got to be a moment where he like tries to have other jobs, which I think could be very funny. Like him bagging groceries. And I'm not, maybe his little hooves, they can't grab the stuff. Wait, he doesn't have little hooves.
He has full-on hands.
He has hands.
He has a
Literally, if
thumbs
you
up
look
right behind him.
I'm not looking right behind me. I won't look.
We talked
at
about the
it.
thumbs up so many
His
times.
little hoof, you mean? His hoof?
It would behoove you to turn around.
No, his hoof. I won't look, but I know it's a hoof. He's got those little cleft feet. Anyway, his little hooves can't grab the groceries, and he spills the groceries, and then he tries to work at the bank, but his little hooves can't grab the money. He also has little hooves for this whole prequel.
Well, he also
one of
has to
those
go on the
movies that
run.
establishes new
like,
canon, yeah,
when he-
which
when he
he can
leaves the desert,
run
he
pretty
has-
fast with his little hooves.
Yeah, he's a deserter.
He's a deserter.
You're right.
I'm
That could
cutting
be
you
fun.
off because he has hands.
He has hooves in the prequel.
In the prequel,
We don't know.
He earns his hands back.
Exactly. He slowly but surely gets kissed on every part of his body, and it turns from pig to person.
So he does eventually have a human dick, is what you're
No.
saying. No.
We don't know. That's in the sequel, baby.
No.
It's clear that he would have hooves in the prequel. They'd get kissed off. Oh my god! But then it won't be until the sequel that he gets his little corkscrew.
Kiss my hooves off.
kiss my hooves off, Porco style.
Well, kiss my hooves off.
Well, kiss my hooves off.
Wow, that's good. Okay. What is how does it end? What's the arc of this prequel? Like we know the conflict, and it's his internal conflict. Does it end with him like becoming good at bounty hunting?
I think he's talking to like some sort of like the main person he turns his bounties into, pulls up this plastic bag, and it has a playing card with a beard on it. And he's like, there's this guy called the Pirate. And he has a taste for the theatrical, and he's going to kidnap a bunch of little girls.
Yep. Escalation.
Yeah, escalation.
It could just be the Joker. Because, like, as far as I know, every good movie ends with, like, and the next one, there's going to be the Joker.
Yeah.
And so maybe it could be this one, too. Porco Rosso. Like I said, Porco Rosso.
Yep, I wasn't going to say, I was not going to call attention to it. I wanted to let you skate on by, man.
There's a lot of
I'm
jokes
trying to give
that
you so much like leeway tonight, and you're like, no, you have to call me out. No, I said
me.
something ridiculous. You have to say something.
I want to be held accountable.
I want to be held accountable.
Oh, man, if you hear something, say something.
Yeah, that's what the airport always told me.
Yeah, I
think actually something like that is good. Like we see one bounty hunt, and that's kind of the exciting final fight. Is him doing a bounty hunt, getting paid off, and going like, yes, this is my new life, baby.
Finding some meaning again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I can finally fly again. It feels so good. And then like he finds his little cove. And he's like, yes. And he like sets up his little tent and his little radio. And he's like, this is me now. I love this. And I'm happy finally because it's just me. And it's like sort of bittersweet, but it's still nice.
Here's a fun, but I'm going to try and shorten this because we don't have that much time left. But when he leaves, he doesn't leave alone. Or he meets up with another deserter who... He's the one who knows about that cove, and they move there together, and they've each got like tents on the beach, and they're like, we're going to just camp out here until all this blows over and we can go home when the fascists are gone or whatever. But things things keep going as they are. And maybe at some point the other person commits some kind of crime or decides to join the pirates or something like that. And Porco Rosso is just like, no, I'm not into that. And that's when he fully gives up his loyalty. He has to have a dogfight with this guy who was his compatriot in leaving the whatever, and turns him in, or captures him or takes his plane down or something. And then when he's with the people who are arresting him, someone's like, there's money in this if you want to, and then he turns to camera and he winks.
Gives the thumbs up.
Of course, gives the thumbs up at the credits.
There's money in this. No, I actually really like that because both end with him being a bounty hunter, but one of them is the sort of more hopeful, like, oh, he likes it. And the other one is way more fatalistic, like, this is all I can do with the equipment and disposition that I have. My outlook means I have a very limited amount of jobs I can do. And one of them is bounty, like sell people.
Well, because if we get to the end of this movie, it's never resolved that there really aren't bounty hunting jobs for him anymore. They say that, and then they never return to it because he doesn't. Right. And so, but he has this plane. It's fixed up. It's working. He can fly as much as he wants now.
He can fly.
In this prequel, do we show him deciding on the rule that he'll only shoot at planes, not pilots?
That's a good question, and I think that would make sense.
I think it's because a plane kills his family.
Oh my God.
But not a person, a plane.
Guns don't kill people.
Hate planes. He has a vendetta against planes. It's not that he won't shoot pilots, it's that he loves shooting planes.
I'm so sorry. I just realized the guy is an enemy pilot who he flew down to save in that.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Perfect.
That's the deserter.
Yep.
Fuck.
And they wind up in this cove.
Yeah, no, then it has to be that one.
Yep.
It has to be that one. Nice.
I like it.
Oh.
That actually solves everything. That's why he deserts.
It solves everything.
As much as I would love it to be that he hates fascism, let's be honest, it's probably more likely to be because of a personal thing that happens.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, those are his just desserts.
Or it's like his excuse for leaving. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay, so here's my final question.
Yeah.
So I've thought a lot while watching this movie and while discussing this movie about why this movie is about a pig fighter pilot. Like, why is it like he's a pig though, but everything else is normal, but he's a pig though? And I've narrowed it down to two options. Which one do you think it is? One, the movie originally was about a dog that flew the planes because it was like dog fighting, and someone was like, wouldn't that be funny? And then some funny little laugh 'em up was like, wait, what if it wasn't a dog and a pig instead? And everyone was like, you're crazy, but you just might be right. And then they like double joked it. They like A to C'd the joke. Second possibility. It's simply a reference to the phrase when pigs fly.
God
shit.
damn it.
Number 2.
It's got to be one of those.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think it's number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think both options are number 2 if you ask me.
They're shit.
Oh my God, folks! Thank you for listening to Contextual Deviants. Oh my goodness, what a wild time we've had talking about Porco Rosso, our first anime film. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Christian Hagen, and I'm here with my friends Matthew and David, and we're about to wrap up here. Just a couple more things to get through. David, did you have anything you would like to plug?
I would like to plug. I'm gonna pull a Bond this time, baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug something that I have no affiliation with whatsoever. I wish I did. It's called Our Flag Means Death.
Oh,
I know.
I'm so sorry. I thought for sure you were going to be like, I'm going to plug our flag.
Our flag.
I am an American citizen.
Please rise and remove your caps.
I'm no Porco Rosso. I am a fascist.
I'd rather be a fascist than a pig.
I'm so sorry. Continue.
Our Flag is good, and Our Flag Means Death is a show, and it's also good. Truly one of the most charming, enjoyable 10 episodes of a fun little pirate thing I have ever seen.
Seriously.
And actually, I should make the category more broad. Probably one of the most fun comedies I've ever seen. Because it's got it all, baby, and I don't even want to say much because like there's so much to be explored. Just know you're in for a good time, and stick it out at least through episode like 3 or 4, and you'll really get it.
Yeah, episode 4 I think is when it really starts coming in.
Yeah, it's
light.
like, I see what this show's all about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Tasty morsel.
go get it. That's all. Hey,
That's excellent.
hey, Bon.
Yeah.
You want to shout something out?
Yeah, I'd like to shout something out. I'll let Christian talk about everything everywhere all at once. I will.
Amazing.
I will plug the much lesser but also just feel good thing that has just brought me some joy and comfort, which is the fact that season 5 of The Great Pottery Throwdown has dropped on HBO Max finally. That show is wonderful. I'm not a fan of reality competition shows, and this is like the exception. It's just the craftsmanship that is on display is amazing, but it's just everybody is so delightful, and people are just like helping each other, and it's really positive, and it just feels good.
Yes.
And yeah, in the end, you just see some great art, and it's just it's a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I highly recommend it.
And they have a different host this season.
Yes, a different host from last season, but I have a sneaking suspicion that host will be back after her leg heals, because that's kind of what they keep implying, which is a bummer. Because right now, the host of season 5 is the same woman that plays Sassy on Ted Lasso, and she is delightful. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, anyway, that's Great Pottery
Sorry.
Throwdown on HBO Max. Go check it out. And Christian, what would you like to plug?
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for asking. I would like to shout out, silent friend / roommate of the show, Michelle Yeoh, starring in a wonderful film that you may have heard of by now. And if you haven't, I'm glad to be the one to tell you that you need to go see this as soon as possible in theaters if you can. It is called Everything Everywhere All at Once. It is... It's very hard to explain. I feel like I've never seen a movie quite like it. It is extraordinarily weird, very funny, very sweet is a weird way to put it, but like there's a lot of it's like emotionally affecting.
Incredibly sweet.
Yes, it's incredibly sweet. It's just God, it made me laugh like so fucking hard, but it's also got a lot of great action, and it's got a lot of really bizarre and cool special effects. It's a movie about multiverses, and that's really all I can say about it that wouldn't spoil anything, because absolutely you should go into it knowing as little as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was like, oh, I feel like I know what this is going to be based on just like the trailers and stuff. And then half an hour into it, I'm like, what is this? And then about an hour into it, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It's incredible, and like just
amazing.
the craftsmanship involved. Like it's another movie that was filmed during the pandemic, which already on its face is very difficult.
Yeah.
It was a very like small crew. They shot it in 40 days.
Damn, and 40 nights?
And when you see what they do with that time,
It's insane.
That is a
I don't know how they
crunch.
found the
Wow.
time.
it's
And-
incredible.
And then the other thing that blows me away is they only had 5 people working on the visual effects from home, and a lot of them were learning like 3D software.
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
That's genuinely
it's
fucked.
insane.
Those people have jobs forever.
Yeah, it was just
go without.
everything about that movie, like behind the scenes, it just in front of your face when you're looking at it. It's just incredible.
And there's so many different things that I wish I could talk about, like just the craft of making it and the different elements of it. But I know David hasn't seen it, and I know a lot of other people haven't, so I don't want to make any spoilers.
Maybe a year from now we'll do it.
Yes,
We'll
I
do it on the
want.
show.
Oh, we're definitely gonna. You and me.
Once it
we'll
pops-
definitely talk about this.
You, me? Oh.
we're gonna talk about this.
Once
But
it
if-
pops up on like a streaming service, we're
Exactly.
for sure doing this.
Absolutely, absolutely, because there's so much to talk about. I'm just so excited that it exists, and I
Yep.
really hope people go out and see it. And it seems like word of mouth has been
Yeah.
really strong.
Yeah,
so
I
we'll
really
see
hope
what
it
we'll
keeps-
see what happens this weekend. But I think it might. I think it's probably going to go up from last weekend.
Probably, yeah, because this last weekend was the first weekend it actually opened wide, because it had been released already for I think like 2 or 3 weeks in smaller.
It was a lot smaller.
Yeah, but man, it's just there's so many different. It's one of those movies where you can take so many different things away from it.
Yeah,
Like there's so many different themes, so many different like meanings, and it's just and they're all right.
I literally thought of some.
Yeah,
I
like
literally thought of one as I was driving over here earlier that I hadn't thought of before because that movie just popped into my head and I was thinking about it again. And I was like, oh,
It's brilliant.
oh, that's
it's
wonderful.
it's so
love
it's
that.
brilliant. The whole thing is like it's a hug I think we all need right now.
Yes.
Just a
So
dose
very-
of optimism in a
yes.
very pessimistic time.
a very strange movie.
Yeah. Yes.
I love it to death. Okay, so yes, everything, everywhere,
Everything
all at
everywhere,
once.
all at once.
And thank you to dear friend of the show who's in the kitchen over there, Michelle.
I really appreciated earlier
job
when
with
you called her silent friend of the show.
Yeah.
Like the implication that like friend of the show is like, oh, they've been on and they
Yes.
like it. Silent friend of the show is they don't know.
More like silent roommate of the show.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
adjacent. to the show.
She's in the kitchen. She's reading scripts. She's got stuff. She's got like
she's got a lot of stuff to do. She
she's
can't be
very
bothered
busy.
with this. Yeah, she's great.
she's fantastic.
Help yourself to anything in the fridge.
That leaves us with just one piece of dirty business, and that is the question that I have to ask every time, which is, and I'm going to do it short this time. I swear I'm not going to belabor it.
You always, Christian. You always say you're going to do your dirty business short.
I know I always overdo it, and I belabor the point, and I run the joke into the ground, and I get it.
but not this time.
This
Does the
time,
crescendo.
this time I'm going to get right to it. Okay. No, listen. I've learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I've had complaints. People have told me that I do this bit too long, and I get a lot of eye rolls from
No,
you
so far you're
guys.
doing pretty good, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get right to. I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
think
telling
you're doing a great job of
I'm
getting
just telling
right
you
there,
that I'm
actually.
aware.
Yeah, fair.
I'm aware of the
I see.
response
I see
to
what you
my
mean.
previous build-ups to this final
that makes
thing,
sense,
and I know that it's. I've taken it to heart. I'm listening
evident.
and learning, and I would like to take this opportunity with you, my dear friends, to ask the question, which is, David, did you have any final thoughts you would like to leave us with?
Why does the measure repair the female?
Thank you for listening to Contextual Deviants. You can find more information about us online at our website, contextualdeviants.wordpress.com. You can tweet at us at textdeviants. You can email us at contextualdeviants@gmail.com. Thanks to Minneapolis' own The Badman for the use of their song Gun Tonic off the album Ain't Clean. This has been Contextual Deviants. My name is Christian Hagen, and have a nice day. Have a nice day!